Now let's talk about the scope. Scope needs a lot of more details, right? So first of all, this dial. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop a loop in here, right? Then we're gonna drop another loop in here, okay? We're gonna drop this one, Shift D, and P2 in its own selection, grab this one, and we're going to solidify it. Be warned, guys. I'm gonna be moving all around the gun. I'm not gonna stick to one area. And again, the reason for it is that everything needs to be balanced. Okay, all the details need to be balanced. If you focus on one area, it's very easy to overload it with details if you don't have experience with detailing. Let's change to angle, the over segments to 3, and clamping, turn it off, and let's go. Just a tiny bevel, really small one, right? And this looks a little bit weird. Let me see, this is too big. Bevel. That should work. So in fact, let's make it even smaller, so 0.5. There you go. A tiny one like that. Now what we're gonna do is actually apply the solidify, right? And we're gonna grab this, okay? We're going to insert it twice, alright, like this. And we're going to press E, cancel with right mouse button, Alt S, and move it outside, okay, a little bit. And then make sure in individual regions and scale it like this. And Bob's your uncle. And that's our knob. What we can do here is actually do something interesting like this. GY, and just move it a little bit inside to create a little bit of an interest here. There you go. That's pretty cool. I like it. So auto smooth is gonna take care of it, but we can have some more fun with it. So do something like this and actually insert it even more, and then insert it inside, and then we can chamfer this, and that looks pretty peachy. Does it look peachy? Maybe not that peachy. Let's see. Let's go to orthographic side view. Let's make it a little bit larger. Insert it a little bit less than that. GY. And let's move it outside maybe. Let's see how this looks. Cannot decide, guys. Cannot decide. That's something I can't decide. Let's grab these two edges and actually bevel them. There you go. I like that. I like that. That's good. The small details, yeah, they go a very long way. Okay, very long way. Now, what I wanted to create here, because it's a little bit dumb, some cover, like like a hood, just like lens have. So this is a bit too small. What I'm gonna do is create a double cover. So I'm gonna grab this one and grab these and Shift D this and P to its own selection, and let's go. So let's grab the top part. Let's just make sure you got the make sure you got the good one, not this one. Oh, come on, Blender. That's the one. And let's grab solidify here, right? So solidify, and let me see now. Let's go to perspective. It's gonna be easier to see. And let's thicken it outside. It needs to be really, don't go too crazy, yeah? This will do. Right, and this one, so let's go to front view and make this one a little bit larger and move it to the top. So GZ like this, okay? So this one can fit underneath, you see what I mean? So we're going to do something like this. Go to path through and GZ, I'm sorry, GX, that's what I mean. GX, and move it in here. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to move these two, okay, backwards, right? So like this, GG, and move them literally to the back here. And that's gonna create like a really freaking awesome opening. You see that? That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. In addition, because we're not done here yet, let's grab a cube and bring the cube in here, make it a bit smaller, and let's see, bring it in here and rotate it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then actually let's rotate it a little bit more with shift. OCD, guys, I'm sorry, can't help it. Let's just scale it so we don't have to mirror it, and shift A, apply scale, select these two edges and chamfer this like this, and literally cut it out. Pretty cool. And let's see how we're looking. Whoops, we need to apply this. So move it above and apply it, right? So let's see how we're looking. Yeah, we're looking pretty peachy. So that's one. And then I'm gonna create some indentations in here. So I'm gonna grab this cube actually and actually reset its rotation. So Control Alt R to reset the rotation. Which one is facing? This one. So let's rotate it with Control 180, and we're gonna create indentations on this bevel. Okay, so G, Y, move it in here like this, and let's actually Control minus this. Okay, and we're gonna reduce the height, which means we're gonna drop this face down. Okay, where is it? Side. So GG and move it down. Oops, not this one, this one. There we go. GG and move it down. Okay, so let's see how we're looking. We're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. And these ones, we're gonna actually bevel them. Okay, so not chamfer them, bevel them, just to make something different. And then we're going to actually move it to the left. So select this one, right? Alt A to select everything, Shift D and X, and move it somewhere here. And let's actually H to hide it. See, that looks pretty rad to me. So let's move it above. Did it work? Whoa, what happened now? Hang on a second. Solidify and then apply it. And now let's actually apply a bevel to it. And the bevel shouldn't be too big because reasons, and angle for sure. Let's see. And of course we need weighted normals because it's gonna be a mess otherwise. And it's perfect. It's perfect. This angle is actually perfect. So let's see how we're looking. See, these small details actually go a long way. They go a long way. They're gonna be catching light, and add some interest to this whole structure. Now, what we can do, something really cool, we can actually drop sort of like clamps from the bottom. Let me show you. So let's sometimes a shape drives another shape, and even if you plan something, you might end up with something really different. So Shift D and then P to its own selection, and grab this one, and then grab these two and these two. We're gonna copy this to the other side later on, and GZ and move it to the top. See, and then what we're gonna do is actually we're going to let me see that E and move it inside like this. Okay. So that's perfect, and we're going to mirror it to the other side later on. Now we're gonna solidify this, but before we do, apply scale, then solidify it and move it outside. So let's see what we're doing. Perspective, and let's actually add thickness to the other side, so this side. Okay, and then we're gonna SY scale it on Y a little bit like this, and let me see from the front. SY, let's see this. Something like this will be perfect. It's a little bit it should be a little bit taller, so GZ and move it a little bit higher here. Should be a little bit wider though. Should be a little bit wider. What we could do, something like this. Okay, split these two edges, right? So subdivide, move these two to the top. Okay, split them again. So Control Shift B this time. Ooh, that's not gonna work. Fine. Control B like this, and then select these two and Control B. Okay, and then what we can do is move them a little bit down. So GZ and move them down. Select this face and move it inside. Okay, so GY and move it inside, right, like this. And then what we can do is move this whole thing outside. So SY and scale it out. So this is like a supporting sort of bit, if you know what I mean. So that's pretty cool, and we can just duplicate it. So it's a little bit wide, so we can do is grab a cube, or even a cube is fine. Grab a cube and move it in here, and Jesus Christ is huge, and make it smaller and move it in here. somewhere here, and we can actually cut it asymmetrically, so just from one side, just to make it more interesting. So GY, move it in here, and apply scale and apply chamfer. Come on, cube up. There you go. Apply chamfer and make it smaller. Okay, so scale it, and let's see, SZ, and move it in here. Actually, no, I don't like it. Move it up. Move it like this. There you go. And Control minus and move it a little bit to the top. GZ, somewhere here. Does it make sense? This will work better. In fact, you know what? We can do it from both sides. So mirror. I changed my mind. And on X and flip it across. Come on. This one. Did it work? It didn't, because this one needs to have its geometry, the origin point moved back to geometry. Now it's working, because it was flipping across this point, we see. So now we can apply the solidify and bool, and we can actually apply a bevel to it, change to angle, 3 segments, and we should be peachy. And of course, weighted normals because reasons. Now we can duplicate it, so we can actually do Alt D and move it up to the front, and we are kind of done in here. Same here, we need some screws, right? So Alt H, and that's not gonna work. So let's simply move it to cutters, and let's grab a new cylinder and move it in here and make it really small, and make it smaller, and move it in here. Remember, these are going to be tiny screws, right, or tiny bolts or whatever, and these details take really long time in vanilla. Okay, they do not take that much time in probably 1/4 or less, maybe even 1/5 of a time that you can do it with decals instantly, nearly. Okay, so quick. In vanilla is just a bit of a pain, but also, you know, you're dealing with geometry in here, so if you want to do a decast, you could do that, but it's a pain, to be honest. So Shift D, you know what, not Shift D, let's do it Alt D, because in case I just want to make them bigger. Now, spacing screws is important, you see. If I put it in here, it's going to be a bit too congested. I want it to breathe. There's a concentration of details in here. I want to leave this space untouched. It's really difficult to explain it sometimes, but it's a matter of feeling. Like, for example, this one I would like to leave alone here because it's a nice opening space, and I don't want to make it too crazy. And I'm just gonna drive bolts through these areas, and the other ones I'm gonna leave alone. So Control, no, I'm gonna actually combine them. I'm just gonna simply drive holes through it. Not Alt D, Shift D, because I want to make these ones bigger. So these ones I'm gonna make them bigger here. Okay, so GY and move them outside here, and let me see this. Yeah, that's better. So let's come on, side view, not this one, the other one. And let's actually Shift D and X and move it in here, and then Shift D and move one more here. And this will do me, I think. Did it work? So what I need to do is actually move it outside. Correct. Okay. This is another layer of this. So Y and move it in here. And in fact, I need to copy this. Cut this. There we go. Confusing. So let's move this in here and call it a day, shall we? So see, now that looks more like it. In my opinion, this one should be a little bit maybe closer to the left, maybe. GX, maybe move it somewhere here. I don't know. Maybe that's better. So something like this. Okay, perfect. Peachy. So there we go. And now what we can do is move this one to cutters, right? This one needs some this one, actually, you know what, don't move it to cutters. Let's bring it back. There we go, because I want to actually see where this frame is. So that's the middle of a cut here, right? So I need to run a knife here. So let's grab this one and this one to local. And let's see this, okay? So the knife needs to go, here. So, okay. It needs to go from here all the way down here, right? And then across. So a Z, click and enter. Perfect. And now let's see if it's actually going through. No, it's too high. So GG and move it a little bit lower like here. And this will do. And this is perfect. So now we can actually apply the boolean. But before we do that, we need to remove the data. So no. Oh yes, we're in edit mode. There we go. And now we can hide it. So move it to cutters and apply the boolean. Right, and it goes through the middle, which is perfect. Now we can go ahead and add our chamfer. So just select everything around here too. It's a lot of work, guys, but at the end it's gonna pay off. And create this, and again you need to clean all these things, right? So there's no other way to do it. You could actually merge distance, verts by distance, but it's a risky business because you don't really know what you're merging in a whole mesh. So if it's a complicated mesh, you might merge something you don't really want to get merged, and it's just gonna mess up your module. So I prefer to do it manually because I'm just a perfectionist, and that's what it is. I don't understand lazy mode in anything I do. It just doesn't exist for me. It's either everything 100% or I don't do it at all. I don't like doing half-assed jobs because it's just no point. So now here, let's apply solidify and all the booleans, and we're gonna deal with this one manually because actually it's not too terrible. You see, all we need to do is literally run this knife this way, and we're done. Okay. So all we do is remove this one, and we fine. Oops, remove this one, and we're fine. This one is okay. It's not straight, but it's not a disaster. And now we can actually run this ring in here and sort of bevel this, and everything is peachy. Run the bevel and with the normals, and everyone is happy. All right, so let's see how we're looking. We're looking pretty good. Let's hide these because they kind of throw me off. I want to see the shape, and in fact, if you want to see it better, you can turn on the cavity, which is going to add a little bit of oomph. Let's collapse this so we have a bigger view. Well, let's see how we're looking. We're looking pretty good. So these ones, this one needs bevel, so let's apply all the booleans, and let's apply a bevel and apply weighted normals. And switch bevel to 3 segments and angle. And we should be fine. Same here, apply boolean and apply bevel and apply weighted normals. And this bit also needs smoothing. No, this is the bevel issue. So bevel to angle, 3 segments, we're done. Here, the same situation, we have a bevel going on. Perfect, weighted normals, always good. Now this one needs a bit of a chamfer, okay? We need to fix this. You see, that's bad news. So now the ideal way of running this would be like this, okay? So SX0, right? And GG, move it in here, and I could actually split it, right? And on this edge, GG over here, okay? So what I would do is literally run a knife across like this, okay? And just remove this, all right? And then I would do the same thing here. So SX0 and run knife across, and I'll tell you why I'm running it this way in a second. So the reason why I'm running it this way is because this angle here it's just a bad idea. I'm gonna chamfer this. It's gonna just mess up my shading, so I can remove all these edges, right? And then I'm gonna copy to the other side. So what I'm gonna do here is run a chamfer across like this, okay? And what's going on with my shading here? Wait a minute, one more time. This one up to here and chamfer this. There we go. See, that's gonna break the light a little bit here, you see? And I'm gonna do the same thing probably. This one is cutting, to be honest, because it's kind of like, see that? it's skewed. This is not straight, so it's gonna be easier to cut it. So I'm gonna grab a cube, bring it in here. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, rotate it to align it to the rotation. Come in here, and I really need to be precise now. So no, don't cut too much, just cut a little bit, and then simply move this cutter above and apply it. And we peachy. Now I'm gonna grab this edge, right, all around, okay, and simply chamfer it. In fact, I could chamfer it down to here, which is quite fine. So chamfer this and see how we're looking. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's see how we're gonna be looking with the bevel though. No, I'm gonna leave it like this. Just straight cut. That's fine. That's fine. 2 cutters. What I could do though, right, is actually chamfer these, right? Especially now that I have this really nice straight edges flowing into it. I don't have to worry about anything. I can literally chamfer it out. It's gonna make it a little bit more interesting, you see. It's gonna catch more light, and it's gonna be a bit more aggressive, so it's pretty cool. This one too is a little bit skewed, isn't it? So we're gonna fix this. Let's grab another cube, right? Cube, and 1, 2, 3. Let's bring it here. And see, this edge doesn't agree with this one. Let me see, let me see, let me see. Yeah, see? Look. This is not even, you see? And that bothers me, okay? That's how crazy I am. So let's simply grab this one, and you know what? We could actually move this one outside, because this one is straight, right? So let's go occlude, and B, and move them outside. So G, X, and move them outside a little bit here, and see if it's gonna be any cool. Because we can cut this, you see. So let's apply the boolean here, right? So let's apply this, and this one we're gonna cut it further. So what we're gonna do, or we could do something like this, turn this off because it's confusing, and we're gonna mirror it to the other side later. So let's just chamfer it like this and enjoy our life, shall we? Peachy. Now let's grab a cube because we're not done here yet. Oh, we're not done. And then R, 1, 2, 3, make this cube smaller, right? And bring it in here and make it really small. And bring it in here and SY, okay, and bring it in here and literally just cut it, just a small notch, just for the hell of it, guys. And what we're gonna do is apply auto smooth and smooth to the cutter, and then let's see what happens. What happened in here? Bevel needs to be angled, and we need a mirror on the other side. So we're simply going to apply a mirror on y-axis, and everything is peachy. Okay, perfect. Move to cutters, and we're done. How are we looking? We're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good.